and Hirabai Tata, Mithan Lam was born in 1898 in Phulgaon near Nagpur. Mithan and her mother became theosophical and were greatly influenced by Annie Besant. Influenced by her mother, from the earlier youth, Mithan was involved with an urge to fight for women's rights, particularly the right of political vote for the Indian women. Joining the Lords on School of Economics, where she took her MSc in economics in 1923 from the Economic School of Economics, London, and she became the first Indian woman to do so. She was one of the first 10 women in Britain and the 16th Indian and the first Indian woman to qualify for barrister in law from London. In April 1933, Mithan was married to Jamshed Sorab Lam, an attorney and a notary public. She worked tirelessly for the poor in the area, for providing the amenities like electricity, water, washing places, a dispensary, nursery, school, and sewing classes for women. Later, as the president of the Maharashtra State Women's Council and as a convener of its civic group, Mithan continued to work for the upliftment of women, especially poor women. In 1942, Mithan was appointed chairman of the Women's Committee set up by the Government of India for the relief and rehabilitation of refugees from Pakistan. Since 1937, Mithan had been closely connected with the All India Women's Conference, which was started in 1926 by the Irish rebel Mrs. Margaret Cousins, affectionately known as the mother of the AIWC. From 1960 to 1962, Mithan was the president. In fact, she held practically all the offices in the organization at one time or the other and helped in the general awakening of the women. In 1957, Mithan was appointed Vice President for India of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, and in 1960, she became the founder president of the Indian Federation of Women Lawyers. She was also made chairman of the 13th Convention of the International Federation of Women Lawyers. In 1964, Mithan became the president of the Women Graduates Union of Bombay. It's not a small feat. In 1946, Mithan attended the Australian Women Charters Conference for World Peace and Unity at Sydney with Mrs. Kapila Kandawala as a representative of the All India Women's Conference, AIWC. In 1947, she was appointed as the Sheriff of the Bombay, the first Indian woman to be thus honored, and that too in the year of the Indians' independence. She held the office with dignity and worked incessantly for peace and communal harmony, the crying need of that time. Mithan J was widely travelled in Europe, Australia, Middle East, and West Africa. Mithan attended many international conferences. She was a delegate At the Asian Workshop for the Committee of Correspondence held in the US in 1957. From 1968 to 1972, Mithan was appointed member of the UN Affairs in the All India Women Conferences. At United Nations meeting, Mithan represented the International Federation of Women Lawyers and the AIWC as observer to the UN State of Women Commission in New York in 1959 again and in 1962. At Tokyo as the government of the India's alternative representative at the UN seminars on women and family law. The Maharashtrian government appointed Mithan as a Justice of Peace and the Special Executive Magistrate between 1973 to 1974. The plight of the blind had touched Mithan deeply, even personally when her own father had lost his sight in an accident. In recognition of her long and arduous career of public service, Mithan was awarded the Padma Bhushan by the President of India in 1962. My friend, the death of Mithan's husband in Lonavala in June 1978 was a great blow to her. After 45 years of happily married life, she just lived by only 2.5 years and left this mortal world. Thank you very much.